if I always start a season, I'd say I'd always want double figures. I never just want 5 or 6, or I'd always want double figures. And I guess that's what kind of makes me a bit greedy in the box. As soon as I get in the box, I'm looking for the net. I don't have to look up. I'll put it in the net. And I think a few clubs I've played for, they've said I'm the 6 yard king. So anywhere in the 6 yard box, yeah, I'm there. I'm in and around, and I'm gonna score a goal. But I do like to score my goals from outside the box as well. Don't worry. But definitely in retrospect, when you're trying to get yourself a goal or score yourself a goal for the team, then yeah, definitely me in and around the box is where I thrive on that.
The VAR Show. The one place for your weekly football update.
So hello, a very warm welcome to the VAR Show, the show which talks about all of these major football leagues. Until today, we are going to continue of interviews, and we have Mr. Joel Thompson with us. So without wasting much time, I would like to first thank Joel for coming on the show. Thank you and welcome to the show. And I would like to begin by asking you, how are you and what have you been doing? It's been quite a weird few months, or you can say a year that has just passed by.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Thank you first of all for obviously having me, and I appreciate the opportunity of coming in and obviously speaking with you. In terms of how I am, hey, do you know what? I've just been trying to stay fit, stay positive, I've always been known to be positive and a dream chaser. So I've just been working as hard as I can to make sure that the pandemic and things like this don't distract me and don't take me away from trying to do the best that I can, really.
Definitely. And I'll ask you, I'll go straight to the beginning. And why football?
Football is basically my family. My uncles, they've played, from internationally. They've one of my uncles obviously was able to play here in England for Sheffield Wednesday. My cousin, he's played in the MLS for Toronto Raptors. Played over there for Toronto Raptors. Sorry, I meant Colorado Rapids. Toronto Raptors. Yeah, Colorado Rapids is who he played for in the MLS, and Cincinnati FC. So his name's Omar Cummins, and he, I think he was like one of the highest goal scorers in the MLS. So that to say, it's in my blood. That's simply to say it's in my blood. That's why football was there, and I think it's not just a family thing for me to say this is what they've done, you've got to do it as well. But it's also something that I've always desired and worked hard to do. It's like I feel like it's my own calling. Do you know what I mean? As well as you got my mom and my uncles and my cousins saying, well, we did it, so you should do it. But it genuinely comes from me anyway. So that's something obviously why football's what I chose, to be honest.
Definitely. And I wanted to ask, you mentioned how you have a lot of family members who have been there, done it in different leagues around the world, you can say it. So was there any pressure for you, although you it was your own calling, but was there any pressure or some benchmark that you had, not probably externally but internally? Okay, I have to make it at that stage because that is what has been expected, because they have been representing and that is what's happening. Was there anything like that?
Yeah, you're spot on. In terms of I felt that inside. Inside, I felt like if I didn't do it, if I didn't make it, if I struggled any at all, then of course I would feel let down by myself. But see, we all have paths and we all have desires and dreams that we have to chase. Now, who says that you can't do it? Who says that you can't make it? Do you know what I mean? Who says to you, oh, it's not possible? I think it is. Do you know what I mean? I think it's possible. I think anything is, actually, with the right mentality. So yes, at times maybe I didn't score that goal, or I should have done better in that game. Inside, it starts to work on me a little bit, but then I don't let it hold me down for too long. I do my utmost to change it the next game, and stuff like that. So yeah, to answer your question, I do feel it inside a lot, but it's then about my own dreams and desires to try to remove that. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think that's pretty much what it is.
And you mentioned like how sometimes you feel, okay, I should have scored that goal. How much of a difference can a goal be? Like in terms of a career itself. Let's not like it's of a very very big importance in maybe a match, but
Yes,
a single goal can probably change how your entire career goes out. Can
of
it
course.
be?
Yeah, no, of course. Look, you look at certain players. I think you're judged on your last game. That's I don't know. That's how that's how good and how cruel football can be. If someone scores, I don't know, 3 goals against Liverpool in an FA Cup game, already, no matter how bad or how good that player has been throughout the season, if he scores 3 goals against Liverpool in the form that they're in at the moment, someone wants to talk to him. Someone wants to have a word with him. Do you know what I mean? Whereas if you are in the Champions League final and you go around the keeper and you smashed it into Rose, they're going to say, oh, wow, that player, well, I mean, and at that point, they then judge him on his last game. He might have been great for the entire season, but then that miss, and I think that's just the reality of football, the reality of life. People judge you on your last performance. So it is very vital. It's very vital when it comes to trying to take your opportunities and take your chances as a striker. But I do feel that the pressures from that, I play better under. I play better under pressure. I play better when the stakes are high, and I think that's what you get the best out of me anyway. So.
Definitely, and like you said, like how people would probably remember only the bad stuff, although you might have done 1,000 good stuff before that. And one example that stands out, at least for me, is Laureus Karius. Like I think he had a good season, and that one game where he kind of messed around, and that has been attached to his name. Like probably will go down till he plays or even manages. Like even if he performs extremely well, that will always.
Yeah, it's true. That's right. I mean, and it all goes down to consistency. You play at the highest levels when you are consistent, and if you're consistently scoring, or obviously in my case, but if you're consistently assisting, then people then recognize the consistency, which is great. But then as soon as that consistency falters, maybe once, or you have a bad run of games, it just takes I don't know, a specific coach or a manager that can have faith in that player. If not, then he'll be on the bench for the next 5 games and rot in there, and his confidence will probably be in the bin. So I do believe it takes its toll on certain players nowadays anyway, but it's really just about, can that person have a bad game and that manager trusts him to say, actually, I know you're good enough, it's just a spell. And that probably 9 times out of 10, that boosts the person's confidence, whether they play anywhere on the pitch. And I think Man United are doing that a lot of the time with De Gea, who hasn't been consistent in that right. Or you have Martial, who's on fire at one point, and then he dries up, and then everyone talks about him leaving Man United or something like this. So it's consistency. But all of these players are world-class players. So I do believe football is also about opinion. It's my opinion of a certain player, for example. Maybe, yeah, he's good, but does it in dribs and drabs. And others might be like, oh, he's world class, he just had a bad game. Do you know what I mean? So it is based on opinions a lot of the time as well.
So, like as a striker, what would you consider as consistent? Is it consistently scoring goals or consistently playing good? Like maybe there's a fine difference where probably you have a very good game but you don't score. What would you consider consistent?
I consider consistency as a striker to be someone who does score goals, but who is a threat to the opposition. So, for example, if I've made that run that pulls 3 defenders away to allow my centre midfielder to score, great, that's perfect. I believe I've done my job at that point. if I can hold the ball up and bring another player in, somewhat like what Kane does for Son, or if I'm being a nuisance in terms of in general all over the pitch. If I can defend, go back for corners or header or something, and we're as a team we're able to defend, keep a scoreline, and obviously the icing on the cake is scoring goals. And for me, I'm a goal scorer. You know, I love to score goals. It's the best feeling. So I do believe consistency is based on how you can effectively help your team, not just scoring goals as a striker, but if I can track back and tackle the defensive midfielder, or if I can hold the ball up for my team in the corner flag just to get us a win in the 90th minute. It's being effective, it's being consistent. So I agree in terms of it's just really helping your team out to the best of your ability. But obviously you are highlighted as a striker to score goals. So
Definitely. And you like being a striker, like, do you have any number that you set on yourself? Okay, I want at least this many goals this season before it starts.
I try not to put too much pressure on myself. I like to play with freedom. I like to play knowing in my ability, trusting in my ability to perform. And if I always start a season, I'd say I'd always want double figures. I never just want 5 or 6, or I'd always want double figures. And I guess that's what kind of makes me a bit greedy in the box. As soon as I get in the box, I'm looking for the net. You know, I don't have to look up. I'll put it in the net. And I think a few clubs I've played for, they've said I'm the 6-yard king. So anywhere in the 6-yard box, yeah, I'm there. I'm in and around, and I'm gonna score a goal. But I do like to score my goals from outside the box as well. Don't worry. But definitely in retrospect, when you're trying to get yourself a goal or score yourself a goal for the team, then yeah, definitely me in and around the box is where I thrive on that.
Definitely. And like these days, like it's been like because of the social media and probably what is available worldwide, and also maybe because you have like 2 leading or 3 or 4 depending on the season goal scorers, with the constant being maybe Ronaldo and Messi, who produce amazing numbers. And even if you trickle down the pyramid, the fans still want those numbers because they see what someone else is doing. So how much of a pressure does that put? Because now I think everyone is exposed to games like FIFA or something where probably you can score multiple goals. They want maybe players to do that. How much is that a pressure?
I don't think so. I don't think that's a pressure for me anyway. I don't think that's pressure for me. Like I said about your previous question, scoring. I don't want to set myself up for too much pressure. If I score 10 in that season, great. If I get 5 tap-ins in the box, fine. It's a goal. It counts. If I get my goals that I sometimes get outside the box, great. If I can get to 10, perfect. But in respect to the entire season, you want to just score as much as you can. For me as a forward, I just want to score as much as I can. I don't mind. Sometimes I get pushed out wide and try to either cut in and shoot, or just try to provide some pace or whatever down the wings. But I honestly just try to just get as many goals as I can without putting too much pressure on myself. A lot of players, they would see Messi, see Ronaldo, see all these people that are scoring, crazy, Lewandowski as well, scoring crazy amounts of goals, and then pressure themselves or push themselves to do that. And then when that expectation, fails, then they crumble. Their confidence crumbles. Their drive decides that I can't do it. I'm not going to do it. And I think football in general is always about trying to get the young lads to get involved, and it's a family sport, and it's a sport that's renowned all over the world. So can we, for example, just try to make it so that yes, those goals and desires are there, and if you can get them, great. But if you can't, then it's not something that will depress people and make people feel low, and confidence goes, and it has a toll. I think it has a toll over the years when you look at yourself and say, well, I should have scored that many goals and I didn't, and you don't enjoy your career. Do you know what I mean? Whereas I think I've fully enjoyed my career so far, so I'm looking to keep it going.
Like you mentioned, like you have enjoyed, and that's like a very maybe a good like advice for people, youngsters who are just coming through. What's the most enjoyable thing of your career that you maybe look forward to, like that you have maybe through experience or maybe personal, like practice that you have probably, like practiced over the years?
Um, I think what I've probably experienced is connections with the fans. I feel as though no matter what league you're in, high, low, even amateur, Sunday league, um, I think if you connect with the fans, you enjoy football because the fans support you, and you'll obviously, like now with the games at the moment and London being in lockdown, um, only 1,000 fans or 2,000 fans or something like this is allowed in the stadiums. So, but you see the difference in players when you have the fans in the stadiums. You see the difference. You see that the players light up. So, especially if you're a fan's favorite, or especially if the fans can appreciate your hard work, no matter maybe you don't score. For me, maybe I didn't score that week, but because I've running around and the manager pulls me off, I've got the whole stadium standing up and clapping. For me, that I appreciate that, and I enjoy that feeling. Obviously, other than when you celebrate and you want to dance in front of the crowd and everyone's excited for you as well. But I think if I was to say anything that I've experienced is it's always ongoing, and ongoing in the sense that ongoing in the sense that you have fans that you connect with, win, lose or draw, they still have your support. They still push you to keep going. Um, and I guess if you're not a forward, because obviously for me it's the goals, but if you're not a forward, I think it's literally just that team ethic of positivity, and I think that's what I strive on as a footballer and as a person. Um, if there is always that niggling doubt or someone always saying something, um, it will always dampen whatever you do that's good. Do you know what I mean? And you you have to try to push that aside. I mean, obviously, the people that are watching, uh, it people that be watching this is my advice to them would simply be, um, dismiss everyone that says you can't. Dismiss everyone that says you can't, because the only person that can or cannot do it is yourself. So um, that's probably for me the best experience that I've had in football, is just connecting with fans, um, in every aspect of the game.
Definitely. And like you mentioned, like how you should dismiss maybe the naysayers who probably don't believe in your dreams or what you want to achieve.
Hmm.
That's very easy said than done. Like
Hmm.
if everyone says okay, anyone can achieve anything provided they put in the effort. Then you have a lot of other things like 10,000 hours practice, whatever. You have your own personal motivation and goals that everyone or wisdom that everyone shares. For
Yeah.
you, when did you believe that okay, the outside advice or the advice or words said from maybe people who do not realize your dream does not matter? When was that moment for you?
Um, do you know what? Actually, it started a while ago. Like quite a while back. I think I just left secondary school, and I think I'd scored a hat trick against a team that we were losing. I think we were losing 2-0 to them, and the second half I got put on, and at that point in time I was confident in my ability, but they wasn't, because in terms of they wasn't believing in me. Then I scored a hat trick, and the feeling from then, my confidence grew, and I was willing to take on the world at that point. Obviously, the naysayers come in and they say, "Oh, no, you can't. Oh, you shouldn't do it," or whatever else. And then I went on a trial um, for Charlton and David Beckham Academy. The Charlton one, I was there for a little while. I had like a youngsters trial at that point in time. They said I was good enough, but they couldn't give me a full scholarship or something like this. So no problem. And I went to David Beckham Academy. David Beckham Academy had started around the time in Greenwich believe Greenwich, UK, ran by the O2, and I went for the trial there, and I believe it was Ted Dale and Keith Bonus, so coaches, highly rated coaches, and I believe it was Ted Dale. I was sitting down in front of the rest of the squad and the rest of the trialists that were there, and we played the game, and I scored 5 goals in that trial, and I had a little niggle, so I was limping a little bit, and Keith Bonus, he came over to me and he said, "Look, listen, you can have a seat. You've done enough to show us that you're good enough." And that, for me, to hear that from a coach that's highly rated for David Beckham to even get him employed to work for him was something that pushed me. And I believe the very next day, or the very same day, Ted Dale, he was the head coach of the entire project, he said to me, I think some of the boys were bantering me about my boots, because they were like candy red. They were really, really bright. And Ted Dale said, "You know what? Only good ballers wear those kind of boots." So I don't know if he was bantering me at the time, but I took it as a compliment anyway. And and I think at that point is when I said, no one can ever say I didn't do it. No one can ever say I wasn't good enough. That's their, like I said, football's based on opinion, but I already know how good I am in terms of high quality coaches, high quality managers saying, "Do you know what, you're a good footballer, you're of good quality." For me, is the icing on the cake. I did have Chiche for the Brazilian national team. He's the manager of the Brazilian national team. At the time, he was managing Corinthians, and I was there with Corinthian casuals at the time, and we had played against them. And Chiche came up to me, and I went and spoke to him. My Portuguese wasn't great. I don't think it is very good. But his English was great, and he said, you are very, very good. For me, he manages Neymar now. He manages, big Renato Augusto. He manages all of these big players. And if he can turn around to me and say, "You are very, very good," I think for me, that is for any youngster, for anyone playing in the game, it's a huge, huge, huge compliment. So I believe, in terms of naysayers, it's all within yourself. You have to believe what you do, and just hope that you can perform consistently in order to make that happen.
Definitely. And also, you were saying how your teammates have labeled you as 6-yard king. What is the what is the best goal that you have scored in your opinion?
Oh, my best goal. I've scored quite a few goals. That's a tough question. I'd say my best goal in my career. So far, I think there's more to come. I think I'll probably score better ones. But the one that stands out to me is it was like an overhead kick from maybe 20 yards. It wasn't quite overhead. It was kind of to the side, but it was a counter attack. It's kind of funny actually, but it's a counter attack, and I was one-on-one with the defender, and I was trying to do my tricks, a little step over and stuff, and I went past him, and I got half a yard. So I thought, take a half a yard. We're 20 yards out. It's 80 something minute. I'm tired. I'll have a shot, and I tried to bend the ball around the player and try to get it into the far corner. He read it and put his leg out, blocked it, and it went up in the air. So as soon as it went up in the air, I said, why not? And I just did an acrobat, just a kind of overhead kick, side kick, and it flew in bottom corner. And I was, would you look at that? So that was probably the best goal that I've scored. But I'd say the most memorable goal was maybe I scored in the cup final for Corinthian Casuals in the Surrey Cup final, and it was against a team that had won the league that year, and we had just survived relegation. We were about to get relegated, but we survived relegation, and I scored a header, 6-yard box, and that header obviously secured us the win and made it 2-0 to us. So we were, major underdogs, and I've scored a header to get us the trophy basically, and it was hard fought game. I remember I was struggling with cramp in the 92nd minute. The referee was still playing. It was like, blow the whistle, ref. But scoring that was probably the most memorable. Winning the trophy. They hadn't won the trophy for 51 years. To be involved in that, absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Definitely. And you're like, I'll ask you, maybe this might be a little bit tricky. And suppose hypothetically, if in a situation you are on a hat trick and your team receives a penalty, and you have a fellow striker who is going on a barren run, what would you do? Would you give him the penalty, or would you take it to complete a hat trick?
I think I'm gonna have to take the penalty. To be fair, I think. Look, it depends. It really does depend. I mean, I love to score goals, like I said, but I do feel as though if we're winning the game comfortably and my teammate needs a push, yeah, fair enough. I'll give him the ball and say, look, believe in yourself and score the goal, because obviously he'd be having naysayers at that point in time. Do you know what I mean? So I would, yeah, I'd give him the ball and say, believe in yourself and score. But if it's a tight one, and it's 2-1, I'm sorry, I'm taking the penalty.
And you like you said, like you have been exposed to good coaches since like your early days when you had gone for trials. So if you had to choose one coach who had the biggest influence in your career as a whole, who would that be?
Do you know what? That's a good question, because I believe you learn a lot from good coaches. You do. You learn um, a lot of I guess tactics to the way that they play. Um, I do believe my time in Northern Ireland was was good. It was Northern Irish League Two, League One, yeah, League One, and it was good. The coaches there were of a different caliber, because of the league that's there. The league is there. It's not pretty football. It's, you have to be strong and physical. Um, but in everything, I'd have to go back to that manager that believed in me when I was a little boy. I believe I was like maybe 14 and 14, 15. And the manager said to me, look, come and play for my team. He was an amateur football, but he said, come and play for my team. And I was like, fine, no problem. I'll go. I wasn't the greatest at that time, wasn't very good, but I'm a fast learner. So he was teaching me some things I didn't know before. And he obviously said to me, look, what I'm going to do is we're playing against men. So it was men's football. I was 15 years old. And he played me everywhere. He played me in goal, right back, centre back, left wing, right wing, striker. But he kind of helped me find my foot, my feet in in a position, or my foot in the position that I love today, which is obviously centre forward. And he played me every week, pretty much, whether I scored or I didn't score, whether I had a good game or a bad game. And yeah, like I said, it was amateur, but he gave me confidence to believe in myself. And I believe, hopefully, hopefully he's watching. But he Richard Braham, he helped me probably become ruthless and confident centre forward. The ruthless and confident centre forward I am today. I believe he helped me, pushed me to say, don't believe in anybody, whatever anyone's saying. You do what you have to do, and yeah, for me, you're the best striker there is. And yeah, I mean, that put a smile on my face. It helped me score goals, top goal scorer for him after a few years, year after year after year. So whatever he said, the confidence that he gave me helped him, obviously, because we did pretty well in the leagues. Unfortunately, I didn't win one for him. So. But I guess he can come to the games now and watch me play, and obviously have confidence that he was a vital part in that. So yeah, definitely not so much the wisdom of the coaches that I played under, but the beginning, the beginning. Yeah, and the beginning is maybe who I am today. So
Definitely. And you're like, you are in your 30s, and generally, not speaking for everyone, players, they retire mid 30s to late 30s, and they get into coaching or they think about post football career. Is coaching something that you are planning to looking forward to, or you don't want to be associated?
I think coaching, um, coaching is probably something that I would do. Well, once I've hung up the boots. But personally, I've got a nickname of the Black Zlatan. That's what they call me. Honestly, that wasn't. I didn't give that to myself. Okay, but Zlatan Ibrahimovic is an amazing role model in football. Um, his confidence, his swagger that he has. People say that I resemble that confidence and swagger that he has. In terms of he doesn't care. People, what he's 38, 39. He's still scoring goals for AC Milan like he's 19. Absolute general in football. For me, he's a legend, and the fact that he was able to keep proving people wrong, keep scoring goals, keep winning trophies, and he's 39 and he's still going. There is no way someone can tell me to stop now. There's no way. How? It's impossible. Um, and in terms of height, physique, they all say I resemble resemble Zlatan. But I'm gonna try and see if I can score as many as him. But they said that more. He scored more goals after his 30s or something like this.
Yeah, even I
So
heard so something similar.
yeah, so he scored more goals after his 30s. I believe he said something actually. He said two quotes that stuck with me. He said he's like a fine wine. Yeah, he gets better as he gets older. That was good. And he said something else in terms of he said basically age is just a number. I think he said age is just a number. It's about how you feel. I feel great. I feel fit. I feel sharp. So all that being said, Black Zlatan. I guess the nickname is really sticking now. Huh? I'm gonna try to keep that going.
Definitely. And you like, we are getting to the end, and I'll ask you like last few questions. And you
Yeah,
like,
yeah, no problem.
if if you had to choose one moment from your career till now, which is like the most memorable, which one would that be?
I think it'd have to be um, playing with Corinthian Casuals in Brazil and playing in front of 38,000 Corinthian fans. So Corinthian Casuals is the brother club to Corinthians Paulista in Brazil. And my time in Brazil was absolutely phenomenal. I enjoyed it. I should have scored as well. I should have scored a couple actually, but I didn't get to. Um, but to play with the team that I had at that time, um, to play against the players that I played against, Cassio's a Brazilian international, Gil, uh, and to Guerrero, Peru's captain, Renato Augusto, all of these, Felipe who plays for Porto. To play against these players at that time of my career was definitely the most memorable. I enjoyed myself. I believe I played well and I was a standout. Um, but memorable, unbelievable experience. Brazil is like the land of football, isn't it? So to be able to play there and to enjoy that, yeah, that definitely has to be the most memorable. Hopefully, I can head back to South America at some point and do the same thing again.
Hopefully. And you're like, I'll wrap it up with one final question. And before you head to your gym, I won't hold you back a
Yeah,
lot
yeah,
longer. So,
yeah. No
like,
worries, man.
so that you can go to South America to play, like after your gym sessions, like
Yeah,
once.
exactly.
So, like, if you had to give a piece of advice to a young footballer who is just starting out, what advice would you give him or her?
A young footballer starting out, um, I would say enjoy it. Enjoy football. Um, I know a lot of coaches now, they'd say, you know, do this and try to implement structure to their football. Whereas I believe as you get older, that's needed. When I was younger, yeah, I was 17, flying down the wing, doing step overs, and he doesn't do as many tricks. He scores goals. He doesn't want to do the flashy stuff anymore. He wants to make sure that his stats are up and he's playing well for the team and contributing in that respect. Do you know what I mean? He's not trying to go past 5 players like he used to. So I'd say when you're younger, enjoy it. Express yourself in football. Express yourself. If you want to do a trick, do it. You want to, do it in the right areas. Obviously, don't do it in your box as a winger. But express yourself. Enjoy the time that it's not so serious. Obviously, if you get yourself into an academy and you're doing things like this, just have a goal, have a dream, and chase a dream. Now, everything. I think there's a few things I would post on social media, but it would just be at every post or at the end of every post it would be hashtag dream chaser. And the reason is because you have a dream. Everyone, even if you don't play football, you have a dream. And it is really about trying to attain whatever that you have inside yourself. No one else is going to give it to you. So as a youngster playing football, have a dream and enjoy it. Enjoy football. Express yourself as much as you can. That would be my advice.
Definitely. And like on that note, Joel, thank you so much for talking to me, and I wish you all the best. Like hope you can go on to play on to your 50s. You never know. There's I think a Japanese player whose name
Yep, yeah.
eludes me, who's still playing in the J League,
Yeah,
if I'm not
he's
wrong.
playing. Yeah, he's playing in the J League now. He's captain actually.
Yeah,
Playing in
yeah,
the
yeah.
J. Yeah, that's amazing. Actually, I might have to get my agent to call the J League, see if they want to keep me for 10 years or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much, and hope to talk to you again soon. Till then,
Definitely.
take care, stay safe. Bye.
All right, and you too, my man. Take care. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.